if we had proper democracy in Lebanon, then of course Hezbollah would have an overwhelming majority in the Lebanese parliament, and Hassan Nasrallah would be the president.
It's possible. Yeah.
And it's only because Hezbollah doesn't want to take power in Lebanon, because it wants to keep the fragile sectarian balance, so that the Christians can always have the president, so that the Sunnis can always have the premiership. So this is a bit of a handicap to Western propagandists, isn't it? Because they can't demand democracy in Lebanon, because democracy would give them the result they least want.
Exactly. And even in this system that we have, Hezbollah does win a large amount of seats in parliament because Hezbollah has a huge constituency. And they have a huge constituency because they are well respected in their community, because they're seen as protectors. They're seen as protectors against the Israelis, who occupied southern Lebanon in a brutal occupation, just like they do to Palestine for years. And the only reason that Israel no longer occupies southern Lebanon is because Hezbollah kicked them out with force. Hezbollah also played a very significant role with the arming and funding of jihadist groups in Syria. Those groups tried to make their way into Lebanon, including ISIS, as well as the litany of American-backed, so-called, revolutionary rebel groups that actually were jihadist groups allied with Al-Qaeda. These groups tried to make their way into Lebanon, and the only reason they didn't make it to Beirut is because of Hezbollah. That's the only reason. I mean, Hezbollah's existence is to protect the borders and the sovereignty of Lebanon. That's how they perceive themselves, and their community perceives them that way. So that's why they have popularity within particularly the Shia community in Lebanon. But of course, there's a lot of propaganda in Lebanon. There's other political factions that view everything through a sectarian lens and despise Hezbollah because those are their political rivals, who are allied with the Saudis, who are allied with the Americans. And so it's really important that people understand that when you do read news about Lebanon, you need to take everything with a grain of salt, because it's being filtered through a Western press that has a very nefarious agenda about what they want to happen there.
Now,